Hey everyone, welcome back to Poprageous. I don't know if you've noticed, but each episode of The Acolyte seems to outdo itself for being dumber than the one before it. Did you watch episode 5? Did you see it? How do these neophyte grade school level scripts make it past the script gatekeepers at Disney who are supposed to make sure trash projects like The Acolyte don't get through? There was a time when a script as bad as The Acolyte would never make it past the low-level script readers at a movie studio. Who knows and who cares how this horrendous script even got greenlit? But what I am going to show you is why episode 5 is an abhorrent piece of television garbage and why this show has the certified stamp of being absolute stinking dog shit.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart?
The first scene is as good as any to show that Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy are the Dumb and Dumber of the Star Wars universe. Episode 5 starts with Osha waking up from a brief nap to the sound of lightsabers humming in the distance. When she gets to the Wookiee Flintstones house, she trips and lands on the ground beside a dead Jedi. You know, he's one of those guys in Star Trek who beams down with Captain Kirk, who you know is the one who's going to die. You know the one.
Put it on visual.
So how did she not notice his dead body when she walked up to this fake-ass kindergarten grade set? Are you telling me that Osha had to fall to see this body?
You calling me stupid? Silence!
Then, as if that doesn't make enough sense at all, Osha stands staring off into who knows where when she notices 6 or 7 lightsabers glowing away no more than 20 feet away. How do you not see that before the body? If the humming of the lightsabers woke you up in the first place from farther away, how could you not hear them now when you're right beside them? I mean, this is a severe stink-ass show.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you've had enough.
From a screenplay perspective, episode 5 is just as bad or worse in many ways than the other episodes. Leslie Headland boasted that there would be lightsaber fights to rival the prequels, but they are so poorly integrated into the episode that it all comes out looking like a garbled mess. You get the feeling that this episode is nothing more than a random scramble of nonsensical events as characters run around making ridiculous decisions and conveniently bumping into each other when they need to. It feels like they made up the script as they went along, then relied on choppy editing to try and make it all work.
Go on.
The Sith Lord had the opportunity to kill both Saul and Jekki, or Jekki, I'm not even sure which it is, and who cares? But instead of doing the obvious, he just disappears in a cheap way to try and create tension. It all comes off looking like what is novice-level writing. Saul also had the opportunity to kill the Sith, but was saved by Osha when she tells Saul to stop. Why? Why save him? And how could the Sith Lord even be put in a position of vulnerability at this point in the season? What should have happened is Saul gets his ass handed to him by the Sith. For the rest of the season, Saul should confront his fears and try and find his confidence for a final rematch in the 8th episode for a satisfying payoff. The protagonist needs a goal that feels unattainable to the audience. He needs to be filled with self-doubt as the antagonist is poised to thwart what he's trying to achieve. Saul defeating the Sith at this point in the season removes any stakes and tension that the story needs heading into the last episodes.
Was that its name?
Did you notice that May runs away from every fight in this episode? Seriously. When she gets close to a battle, she turns and runs. The only exception is the 90-pound Jedi classic between her and Jekki. The only way you could have made this scene better is to get a 3-way going with Shin Hatai. If you added all 3 of these girls together, they wouldn't even equal one Shaq.
Logical.
Character motivations are about as flimsy as a wafer-thin cracker, and the reasons characters do what they do and say what they say can leave you scratching your head. This entire show is like an alphabet soup of scenes and story bits thrown together to form a feeble narrative with constantly changing motivations for characters we don't like. It's a Frankenstein monster of scenes and half-baked characters forced together to create a Jello-like story structure that bounces and flops from one plot point to another.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart?
Very little gets resolved in this episode. we find out who the big baddie is, whom we have pretty much known all along, and calling him a baddie is like calling Daphne Keene tall. Nothing is menacing about him, nothing feels evil. His setup is simply terrible. There's no character development. There's no tension, no fear that this guy is some kind of evil Sith Lord who should be feared or even respected. It feels like the dialogue and major parts of every scene that he is in were improvised and made up on the spot. It feels clumsy and out of place. Then Leslie Headland tries to recreate the epic 2 Jedi versus Darth Maul fight from The Phantom Menace, and well, it doesn't even come close with a jungle setting that adds nothing to the tension and a setup that felt and meant nothing at all because there was no setup. There was no build-up, no anticipation that a showdown was even going to occur. It was just a random event thrown together by a writing team void of any ability to plan an episode to give the audience a payoff from a decent setup. We don't even care about any of these characters as they die one by one throughout episode 5. If you feel nothing when a character dies, the writers have failed at their job. It's just that simple. It's just another stinky thing about this entire episode.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart?
No review of episode 5 can be complete without mentioning the haircut Rey gives herself with the lightsaber. I mean, why would anyone even try such a stupid thing with a lightsaber? If you are off by just an inch, your face is melted pudding. Saul then walks away, leaving his fellow Jedi bodies to rot in the open jungle sun. Lightsabers left everywhere, just lying around. All of the secret Jedi crap Kelnaka has in his Fred Flintstone home, left for others to find and use. The Acolyte proves episode after episode that it's on par with the worst of the worst television shows on TV. Leslie Headland proves that with each episode, she knows next to nothing about creating and writing a compelling TV show. And if I may say, Leslie Headland is an acolyte herself and has a lot to learn. You can add Kathleen Kennedy to that list as well. And that's all I have to say about this stink-ass episode, and I will see you in our next video. Cheers.